The power verse of the Isha Upanishad, a yogic transmission of the self. What if a single sentence could dissolve your fear of death? What if one verse, just one, could show you that nothing essential can ever be lost? No matter what changes, no matter what ends. What if this very moment was already whole? The sages of ancient India didn't believe this. They knew it. They didn't write poetry. They transmitted presence through sound. And the opening verse of the Isha Upanishad, known as the wholeness mantra, is the sacred code that reveals this knowing. Today we are not here to interpret it. We are here to remember it. We will step into the silence behind its words. We will walk through the yogic vision from which it was born. And we will see clearly, directly, why even when something is taken from you, nothing is truly lost. Section 1. The verse and what it means. This is how the verse begins in English. That is whole. This is whole. From wholeness, wholeness comes. If you remove the whole from the whole, still, the whole remains. It sounds like a riddle, like something that doesn't quite add up, but that's because this verse isn't meant to be solved. It's meant to unfold inside you. The that refers to the invisible source of all things. The this refers to the visible world, what we see, what we touch, what we live. But the verse says, this world didn't come out of the source. It is the source, appearing as variety, appearing as change, but never truly divided. This means you are not a spark broken off from the fire. You are the fire, expressing itself as a flame. You didn't fall from God. You're still inside the divine, even now. And even if you feel broken, you are held inside a presence that cannot break. Section 2. How the rishis received this verse. The sages who revealed this verse, known as the rishis, were not philosophers. They were not thinkers. They were seers. They sat in the forest, in stillness, sometimes for years, until their minds became as quiet as the sky. And then the sky spoke, not with words, but with direct knowing. This verse came from that state. Not from argument, not from scripture study, but from absorption, from the silence that remains when the ego dissolves. They didn't compose it, they heard it inside themselves, in the field where thought ends and truth begins. Section 3. The yogic meaning of wholeness. When the verse speaks of wholeness, it's not talking about emotional balance, not the wholeness of having it all together. It's pointing to a cosmic wholeness, a presence that is never born, never dies, never changes, no matter what appears. In yoga, this is known as the unchanging witness, the light that shines behind all thoughts, all emotions, all experiences. You can close your eyes, you can stop thinking, but that light remains. It was there in your childhood. It is here in this moment. It will be there after your last breath. The body changes, the world changes, but you, the deepest you, do not change. That is the wholeness this verse is pointing toward. Section 4. Using the verse as a practice. This verse is not meant to sit on a page. It is meant to reshape your perception. Try this. The next time you feel lacking, pause, close your eyes and whisper inwardly, wholeness remains. Or, when you feel anxious, sit still and breathe slowly. With each inhale, feel this is whole. With each exhale, feel nothing is missing. Let it settle into the bones, into the breath, into the spaces between thoughts. This is not affirmational thinking. It's not positive psychology. It is the reorientation of awareness from the surface to the center. You're not trying to become whole. You are trying to notice that you already are. Section 5. The hidden teaching. Wholeness cannot be diminished. Here's where the verse goes deeper than we expect. It says, even if you remove the whole from the whole, still the whole remains. This is impossible with objects, but it is exactly how consciousness works. If you light a candle from another candle, the first one doesn't lose its flame. That's how the self expresses itself in the world. It doesn't divide. It doesn't shrink. You, your neighbor, the stars, the trees, all are expressions of that one original presence. Nothing is truly outside of it, and nothing can truly leave it. This is why yoga teaches there is no real separation. Even death does not break the self. Even trauma does not damage the light. Appearances may fade, but the essence remains untouched. Section 6, a yogic story to remember. There's an old teaching story that says, a student once asked his master, "How can everything be whole when I feel so incomplete?" The teacher pointed to the sky and said, "Do you see the full moon?" "Yes." "Now imagine cutting the moon in half with your finger. Have you made it less full?" "No," the student said. "It only appears divided." The master smiled. "Exactly. Your suffering is the finger, but the self is still whole." Section 7. Living the truth of the verse. This verse is not just for meditation, it is for living. Try this. When you walk, let each step affirm, this step is whole. When you eat, let each bite remind you, nothing is outside of the whole. When you grieve, whisper to your heart, even this arises within something untouched. Because the truth is, you do not belong to the world. The world belongs to you, the real you, the one behind the story, the one behind the breath. You are not trying to reach the self. You are the self, remembering its fullness. If this sacred teaching brought you even a moment of stillness, a breath of peace, then let it continue to ripple. Subscribe to this channel of remembrance, not just for more ideas, but for deeper presence. And if you are drawn to receive a personal mantra or a birth name aligned with your soul's journey, I invite you to go deeper. You are not broken, you are not missing, you are not too late, you are whole. And even if the surface cracks, wholeness remains.